Welcome, everyone. What I'm hearing a lot right now is that people are holding a lot of resentment. And I wanted to come on today and talk about some of maybe the top 6 reasons why we end up feeling resentful in our lives. Number 1, it's a boundary issue. We're spending a lot of time saying yes when we should be saying no. This falls into that category of people pleasing as well, spending a lot of time with people saying, sure, I'll do this, sure, I'll do that, and over functioning for other people and overextending ourselves for other people rather than taking care of ourselves first and then allowing ourselves to spread our love in the world. Number 2 reason that makes us a little bit resentful is a lot of comparison. So spending a lot of time thinking, I'm doing more than this person. That person's doing less than me, but they're having more fun than I am. So we start to compare other people's lives to our own lives, thinking, but I'm working really hard. I'm suffering in my working. Other people's lives seem to be great. And therefore, I feel bad that I'm not having the amount of fun that everyone else is having. So comparison, huge, huge trap for discontentment in life in almost every area. Number 3, we see something that someone else could do to improve their lives, and we get a little bit judgmental about that. So we start thinking, if they would just improve this, if they would just work harder, if they would just do the dishes or whatever, their lives would be happier. So we start to get into a little bit of energy around nagging. So starting to nag them, starting to make insistence that they should be changing their lives in some way because we can see clearly what might make them more happy. The problem with this is that it always leads in resentment because now you're doing this work for someone else and they have not asked for your opinion or your advice on this. Now, I am guilty of this just as the same as anyone else. We need to be aware and catch ourselves in this trap. So we could step back and allow ourselves to be a little bit more what I'd like to call a compassionate ambassador. So we're really approaching that person with compassion and love and allowing them to think their own thoughts, make their own mistakes, make their own decisions, and we will be there for them out of love to catch them and hold them and support them without over-functioning again, without trying to give them advice and insist that they change their life in a way that would also benefit yourself, if we're being honest. Number 4, in the last year or so, we have all been missing balance in every areas of our lives. We've been in survival mode. And as we're coming out of survival mode, it's really tempting to start to blame others for our feelings of not feeling all right in the world. It's very, very easy to look to our children, to our spouses, to our coworkers, to our family, and say, I believe you're the cause of my discontent. And what I'd like you all to remember is that right now, we are having a lot of discontent in the world. It's okay to feel and honor that discontent. When we get into that resentment space, we start blaming other people for our discontent because they're the easiest scapegoat or the easiest solution in our environment where we sort of point our finger and say, it must be you that's making me unhappy. Number 5, when we don't use our voice to express our preferences, desires, and also lack of preferences, our dislikes in the world, we also can end up in this space of resentment because we're expecting other people to read our minds rather than us telling people what our needs are or what our dislikes are. Number 6 that leads to resentment is not allowing the hard feelings. So wanting to bypass that anger, resentment, comparison, jealousy, and get right back to the good ones without actually feeling what we're feeling in our body. So those are my top 6 things that contribute to resentment. I've been hearing this a lot lately. My solution for this again would be to come from this place of compassion, not only compassion for others, but also compassion for yourselves. Patience right now is really, really important while we acknowledge the pieces of ourselves that are unhappy so that we're not sort of spilling that over onto everyone else. Thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next video.